Here we go, folks. Working on Scratch game design. I started my Asteroids game. I want to dig a little deeper just to see what I can do. I've got some goals set up, so let's see if I can meet those goals. All right, so let's take a look at what our goals are, and we're going to go ahead and begin. First thing is the phrase that pays is test often. Test often. All right, that's a really important thing that I think you should all do. So phrase that pays, number one. What is this about? This just is for my students to prove that they were here. I'm going to give them advice related to what I am doing in this game. And if they can recite back to me all the advice that I give, then I will give them credit for having watched it. Hopefully, they will also create their own version of Asteroids using their own sprites with their own little modifications. All right, so that's the first phrase that pays for today, and we are ready. So we're going to adjust the speed mechanic. We're going to do a couple things here, and we need to do a wrap around the screen. Now this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that one. Can I get, well, I need some variables here. I'm wondering if I can get like the screen width and the screen height. What would that be, though? I don't even know if we have it in here. Well, one thing we can do is we can always look up how to do it. Let's do the speed mechanic. The first thing I want to do is not let it go past a certain speed. Okay, so that's when the up arrow is pressed, we're changing speed. So what would be the maximum speed? Let's figure this out. I'm going to turn around, go to one corner. And now let's see just how fast we're going. Okay, wow. So I think like 15 might be the max. So let's do that. So whenever we change a value, we can always do what we did over here, where if we go past a certain value, we just don't go any more beyond it. So we need another if. That's part of control. So I'm going to grab an if. Consider it an if then. So if what? If speed is greater than a certain value, we need a green to get the greater than. There's the greater than. And then we need speed. That's a variable. And there's this. This is speed right here. So what I could do is try to duplicate that. There it is. Check that out. So definitely right-click on these little objects, because if you already have one of these in place, just use it. Okay, if speed is greater than, I'm going to say 15, and then we're going to set speed. So, oh, right there, duplicate. See, isn't that nice? Duplicate, set speed to 15. So if it's beyond 15, it goes to 15. So now let's see if we can do that again. Well, let's just go, yeah. And then friction's always being added, so there we go. So I kind of like that speed mechanic. Yeah, I think it slows down appropriately. And we can even reduce that number that it slows down by. All right, I'm going to get back to the beginning here. Okay, so first thing we did is set max speed. Now, one thing that would be cool is if you want to, if you set the max speed to 15, we can use the variable. And the advantage to using the variable set max speed instead of just giving a hard value here is, one, you might forget that. But two, you could have that become a power up. So you hit something and it goes even faster. So what we're going to do is we're going to try that. We're going to set a new variable. So I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to just click on here. Does it have a thing that says make a new variable? No, so I think I have to just go down to variables. So we're going to make a variable, and it's going to be for this sprite only. We'll call it max speed. For now, we'll set it to 15. Okay, so we're going to set, we're just going to add it to when the green flag is clicked, max speed 15. So now that we have that, we can drag max speed over here. And then we can duplicate that and put it here. So if speed is greater than max speed, then set speed to max speed. And then friction will take over. And the advantage to this is you could have some other message. Basically, maybe you collide with a power-up and it increases or decreases your max speed. Or you could have a timer, you know, and when the timer goes off, it does it. There's a lot of different things you could use that for, so it's very handy here. All right, so we've got our max speed mechanic going here. I think our physics for moving is pretty good. I think the wrap around effect might be a good one to try, because I think I'd like to attempt that one. So now it becomes an interesting one. I think this should go in the forever loop. However, you've got some options here. So we could add it right inside of the forever somewhere. And if we do that, I recommend we add a comment saying what we're doing there. So that might be a good thing to do. The other thing we could do is we could have a separate when I receive start block that just deals with wraparound. So that would be the other thing we could do. You definitely want to make a comment if you're going to do that. So I think I would like to do that. I'd like to make this a little more modular by doing that. So I'm going to hit this little thing here. I wonder if I close it, can I get that back? Oops, maybe not. Okay. Maybe if I stop it and start it again. Is that comment back? Okay. All right. Okay. I guess I need to leave those comments floating above space. All right, let's do this now. Let's do the motion control. So it's going to be an event. And by the way, I'm kind of talking my way through, but I'm still thinking about how am I going to do this? When I receive, start. And I'm going to get another forever loop. And I'm going to do an if, then, else. I think it should just be an if, then. If, crud. So we're going to do sensing. We have touching mouse pointer, touching the edge of the screen. Perfect. Now the question is, I'm going to do the wraparound mechanic. Okay, so the wraparound room mechanic, we're going to have to think about the algorithm, okay? If we're at the top, will appear at the bottom. If we're actually, this, I don't know if touching edge is the way to do that. So let's just put it this way. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to do this thing here. The wraparound mechanic. This is going to be phrase number 2. Wrap around mechanic. Okay, so we're going to write some pseudocode. If ship is above the top, y is greater than top location. Y of the ship. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing there. Let me just hide this to make it even easier for you to see all this. Okay, so if the ship is above, okay, then we're going to set ship's y to bottom of the screen. If ship is below the bottom, set ship's y to top of the screen. I think you have to have this, it has to be above the top or below the bottom. Otherwise, if it's at the top and you set it to the bottom, and then it's going to be at the bottom, you can set it to the top, and it's going to be this infinite going back and forth, and you'll never be able to get it out. So you have to go beyond the top to appear at the bottom, beyond the bottom to appear at the top. Same thing. And the same thing goes for the left and the right. left of left, set it to right edge. If ship is right of right, set it to left edge. So how do we know? So that's going to be the real key here. All right. So that is the phrase to page number. This is a big, long one. It might take you a little bit to write it down, but this is good. This is an algorithm for solving a problem, and we're going to have to test it out. But the thing here, phrase at page number 3 is the top edge is a y of, well, let's find out. How are we going to figure this out? Well, let's just take a look at it. Scratch canvas height. Position at top of the screen. Oh, can sprites leave the canvas? Oh yeah, it left the canvas. Yeah. Did I not spell? Oh, canvas. Coordinate system. Here we go. Oh, look, there it is. Let's take a look. Can we see this graphic? Ah, 180. 180 is the key. Okay, so there you go. Y of 180. Bottom is a y of negative 180. Is it a square? 240. Left is x of negative 240. Right is x of 240. There we go. Okay, wraparound mechanic. Let's do this thing. We don't want touching. So let's just toss that. Okay, so we're going to want to get a variable, and we're going to want to get, so let's just, let's do it in the order we said, above the top. So that's going to be a y is greater than 180, basically. $180, and then we need motion, and we need a variable, y position. Okay, and then we're going to set y to 180. Let's try it. Uh-oh. Oh, because I set it to 180. Set it to negative 180. There it is. It worked. We've got this. You now know this is going to work. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to duplicate. Part of the problem is I don't think we can change that value there. So we're going to do the same thing for the x position. I'm going to just take this out and leave it here. And we're going to take this. We're just going to go ahead and fix this and then drag it out. Because there's no point in having to go back and forth, back and forth. Look at the wraparound mechanic. What? Okay. Huh. I think that one came back. No, it was over here. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I'll stop that. X and less than. Okay. You know, we had that earlier. The less than and the greater than, whatever. Okay. With x position, we're going to set x. But this is going to be 240. Negative 240. Perfect. Now we're going to duplicate this. Whoa. I don't think we need all these. Oh, that's why that was doing that. Crud. Everything's getting in the way. Okay, this is, now I remember one of the things I do not like about, whoa, what just happened there? One of the things I don't like about Scratch is this right here. I totally forgot about how annoying this is. There we go. I'm going to close that, and let's just get this dude out of the way. Okay, I hope I didn't just delete that. I did. Undo. Undo. Where's my undo? Control Z. Oh, crud. Oh, please tell me I didn't kill the up arrow. I did. I did that. Oh gosh, that stinks. Y position greater than. We need a lesser than. And we need another lesser than. And we'll do it x less than negative 240. Set to 240. And y position less than negative 180 set to positive 180. So just apparently, maybe it's in that backpack thing. Nope. Scroll up, scroll down, left. Oh my goodness. I do have to recreate all that. Can't even move to test the dang thing. All right, if I did it once, I can do it again. It's an event, right? When up arrow is pressed. Gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't even remember what I did. Okay. Set speed. Okay, we're already moving. We're going to change speed. And then we're going to, you know what? This is pretty much it. Take that out and change speed by, what variables do we have? Change it by 1. Oh, if it's greater than. So we want that one of those greater than signs. Duplicate that. If, take that out. Where did my speed variable go? It's gone. If speed is greater than 15, set, oh, it was max speed. That's what it was. Set it to speed. Okay, let's get this back to normal. Speed by 2. Well, that's not bad. Oh, okay. Let's see what time we've got anyway. Let's see how much I've been recording. 28 minutes. Okay, we got time. We've got about 5 more minutes. 5 to 10 at the most. I don't like the way it turns. I want to be able to hold my key down and have it being pressed. So I want to have, instead of when the left arrow key is pressed and the right arrow key is pressed, I want to have it in a forever loop. Can I do an if key is being pressed? Yeah. I could do a while key is pressed. Yes, let's try that. When I receive start, okay, so we'll go to events. When I receive start, go to control, we want a while. Repeat until. Oh, come on. They literally don't have a while loop. Scratch does not have a while loop. They have a do while. Oh my goodness. All right, well, a while loop is really a forever loop with a condition inside. Forever if key is being pressed, right? If right arrows key is being pressed, point in that direction. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm having to think this through or whatever, because well, that's not bad. Actually, that's pretty good. Okay, let's just compare the two. I'm holding this down. Now watch this. I'm holding it down and see the jerkiness. Now let's do the right. Doesn't it seem to you that the right one is smoother? I think so. So then, I think I want to just duplicate this. I don't know if it makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe, okay, we're going to try this. Oh, and this was left arrow. Point in direction. Take that out. Grab this. Oh, take that out. Okay, so let's try it out. That works really well. Now the question is, could I just drop this into one and then get rid of that? Let's try it again. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to drag that out, get rid of it. So we're just going to have this one, which is this, is basically keyboard control. Oh, we're going to do the same thing with up arrow. I think this is going to make it so much nicer. So if the up arrow, we're not going to point in direction, we're going to change speed. What just happened there? Okay. Okay, the control's a little different than your standard Asteroids game. Oh. Change speed by 2. Oh! I moved that to the wrong spot. There we go. No. Okay, start this. Start over. I'm going to do the friction. Okay, so here's the reason why having a variable is really handy. So I'm always reducing the friction, but it's a variable, so we don't know what that variable is set at, except by like we do, we have it right here. So if we want to adjust the friction, that seems like that's too much. Instead of 0.5, let's try 0.25. Yeah, that's a little closer to asteroids. In fact, I might even scale that back down to 0.15. And here's the beauty of this. And now I've just got my variables right there. So I can just choose whichever, if I wanted to adjust it, I just adjust it here. All right, so let's just kind of recap what I did and what we learned here, because I think this is really an important step here. And it's when I receive start forever, this is all keyboard control. In fact, I don't need this thing anymore because it's by itself. That's the other thing. If you see something by itself just sitting out there, you don't really need it. In fact, I think there's a way we can clean everything up, and I don't remember where that is, but there is a thing you can do. Is this it? Let's see. Nope, that's like centering it or something, I guess. I don't know. Let's do this bigger screen here, and I wish I could just, can I just hide that sensing? Do I click it again? Do I just move away from it? That's just annoying. That should just be able to go away when you don't want to see it. If I click costumes, it just kind of takes over. Okay, whatever. I can't do anything about it. All right, so for right now, here we go. This is all keyboard control. All right, keyboard control. And basically, we're just checking, forever we're checking arrow presses. Yeah, and you know, if you think about this, this is just like, if this were Game Maker Studio, that would be like the step event. If this were Unity, it would be in your update. Actually, you would just work it into your script with a bunch of if checks and stuff like that. But basically, it's the game loop. This forever loop is the game loop, right? Forever. But it only happens once we receive start. But so is this. This is also a game loop. This is dealing with movement and max speed, movement, friction, and max speed. Actually, we have the, if it's less than, where's the max speed being dealt with? If speed is greater than. We could set this here because it's related to movement, or we could move it over here. It doesn't really matter. All right. So I'm going to add a comment. This is movement and friction. And guess what? All right. Number 2, number 3. Phrase that pays, number 4. Okay. Yeah, when I receive start and the forever loop that's attached is the game loop. In Game Maker Studio, that would be the step event. Okay, so the when I receive start and the forever loop that's attached to it is the game loop. In Game Maker Studio, that would be the step event. So this would be like the step event in Game Maker Studio, and this would be like the step event. And we can break these up to sort of manage the code. So you see keyboard control, movement, and friction. Let's see how much time we've got, because I think we're getting low. Yeah, we're getting low on our time. So I think we're going to end here. Let's see what we managed to do and what we're going to do next. So we did wrap around the room, adjusting the speed mechanic. So we got to 2 of them. We haven't done the collisions. We haven't done a shooting mechanic. I've already tested the shooting mechanic out earlier, and I know I can get that to work. So, but we're just going to go ahead. Oops, that's what we accomplished. Sorry. This is our goals for next time. Actually, let's do a Control Z. And this is our goal. Next step. Perfect. And a little Shift Tab. All right, so there you have it. We've got 4 phrase that pays. We have basically managed to get our movement looking good. So I think I'm just going to end with demonstrating what we've managed to accomplish. And you can watch these variables here. One last thing, though, before I run it, you can turn those variables off by clicking on variables. And you can just check these boxes. They all go away. So there's friction, max speed, speed, turn speed. Let's go ahead and run it. Let's see if this works on corners. Yes, it does. Wraparound effect works perfectly. I think the next thing we should try to do would probably be the asteroids. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more.